What's up, fight fans? Mainman Mademan here. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. What up to the fam? And what up to everybody in Mainman Mademan's boxing form? Hey, look, man. So the thing is this. So it looked like we got some real good news, man. Word on the curb that a big old card is coming together. It looked like the Premier Boxing Champions and Showtime Championship Boxing's last card of the year, the one that's being scheduled for December the 9th, just got a little better, fight fans. It looks as if that now it's being said to be official that Eiamantis Stanionis will defend his WBA regular championship, 147-pound championship, versus Keith one-time Thurman. This is now going to be on the same card with Danny Garcia and Erislandy Lara, and now also Chris Colbert versus Jose Valenzuela in a good rematch. So now adding this fight right here to that card is going to be a pay-per-view, fight fans. There's also some rumors circulating that possibly Floyd Mayweather is going to return on this card. Well, it looks like this card is getting more and more lit by the day. Like I said, man, this is going to be Showtime Championship Boxing and Premier Boxing Champions last card together, and Showtime Boxing's last card of all time, perhaps. It's also being reported that this is going to be the 100th boxing card of the MGM Grande, so that's going to also be celebrated that night as well. So it's looking like a real monumental type night, and it's going to be big. And this fight right here, it's going to set it off, man. I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm expecting a hell of a lot of fireworks. Now, I guess you can say, man, this is going to be the battle of inactivity here, fight fans. We haven't seen my main man Keith one-time Thurman in the ring in over 22 months. And Eiamantis Stanionis' last fight happened 19 months ago against Butayev. So both of these dudes have been out of the ring for quite some time. We know that both of their fights that they were scheduled to possibly return in has fell through. Eiamantis Stanionis was going to face Virgil Ortiz. However, that didn't happen due to Virgil Ortiz's health concerns. And we know that Keith Thurman was going to go and face Errol Spence Jr. in a WBC title mandatory. However, that fight didn't ever come to fruition, as well as Errol Spence Jr. instead wanted to go and face Terrence Crawford. So both of these dudes have been out of the ring for quite some time. They want to come back and prove. They want to get their name back in front of a lot of the boxing fans. So this is going to be a huge fight for both of these fighters in their careers. For Eiamantis Stanionis, this is hands down the biggest name of his entire career, even though he's coming off of some really good momentum-filled wins. Wins against Radzab Butayev, which was a really, really good win and a real close fight. Also wins over Tomas Delorme, and fighting to a no contest with Luis Collazo. These were all somewhat recognizable names, and this is starting to put Eiamantis Stanionis on the map. This puts him in the position to get himself the WBA regular title. At once upon a time, he was lined up to go against the WBA super champion, but however, things didn't work out that way. So Stanionis is now ready to return back to the ring, riding that momentum that he's been riding, getting through some of these fights that he's been winning. And on top of that, he's been fighting on TV a lot as well, fight fans. He's been fighting on some notable cards. So Premier Boxing Champions have definitely been putting Stanionis out there. So we're going to see what it's going, man. Stanionis has been looking good in his fights. Though, like I said, that Butayev fight was very close, but he still managed to kind of pull through with cleaner, harder shots. And, he's been looking pretty good in his last few fights. And it's going to be interesting knowing that Keith Thurman and some of his vulnerabilities, people say that he's weak to the body. Well, how will he deal with the punching power and the inside fighting of Eiamantis Stanionis? Now, that's my main man, Keith, man. Keith, he needs a fight of this magnitude because, fights with Mario Barrios and Jotacito Lopez and stuff like that, well, those type of fights didn't move the needle much for Keith. Though Keith has been probably got some rust going on and been out of the ring for quite some time, and he's getting up there in age. He's 35 years old, I believe. Hey, man, he's got to come back to a worthy name in order to kind of get that momentum back and to hopefully kind of power himself towards a world title before his career ends. He wants to get back into the mix, man. And in order for him to kind of get his name back into the mix and fans really kind of back into, supporting Keith Thurman, he got to get a notable win. I mean, this would just, help his prospects of getting a title shot come a lot more faster. And getting a notable win will let fans know that Keith Thurman has returned. So it's going to be interesting. It's a good measure. Stanionis is no slouch. This is someone that's going to test every skill of Keith Thurman, and Keith Thurman is going to have to be on his A game on this night. Now, some of the things that I think that Keith Thurman is going to have to deal with from Stanionis is Stanionis got a fast, zippy jab, fight fans. It's zippy, especially from the outside. Stanionis from the outside don't have much of a punch selection that he likes to throw. What he likes to do is kind of measure with his jab, and he throws it real fast, real hard. And once he's kind of touching you more consistently, he knows when he's within range, he likes to take another step forward to put himself mid to close range and then start to let his hard shots go, But he has a fast, zippy jab that he likes to zip from the outside, and he sticks with that until he gets into proper range. He keeps his hands very, very tight, and he normally has a tight posture on defense, keeping his hands close to his elbows, close to his body, hands close to his face, fight fans, making himself a bit smaller, hunching at the back. So he keeps a very, very tight posture defensively, and it normally is pretty tight. He doesn't have really sloppy defense. He's a technical sound fighter. So he doesn't have sloppy defense, and he's always very, very tight. Once again, he's always looking to get mid to close. Whenever he's mid to close is when he lets his hands fly. He throws hard combinations, mainly a left hook. That is his specialty punch. He loves to let a left hook go. Sometimes he'll lead off with it inside. Sometimes he'll throw it in combination fashion, but he loves to let a hard left hook go once he's within range. But he's always looking to get within to the inside. If he's on the outside, he's flicking the jab. If he's taking steps back, he's mostly flipping the jab. But once he's coming forward, and if he's covering real estate, always looking to push himself to the inside, that's where he lets those hard shots fly, fight fans. It's like he wakes up inside of the pocket. He loves pocket fights. He always wants to push a pocket fight. A lot of his opposition in the past, like Tomas Delorme and Radzab Butayev, where they thought to face Stanionis from the outside. And in Tomas Delorme's case, he thought that a lot of movement would be the key to beating Stanionis. However, man, Stanionis eventually once again pushed himself mid to close, pushed himself into a pocket fight. And man, that was kind of Tomas Delorme's undoing. Same way for Radzab Butayev. Though that was a very, very close fight, Radzab gave up a lot of real estate, and that fight, and a lot of portions of that fight turned into a pocket style fight. And when you got that heavy trading going on the inside, that's what Stanionis likes to kind of swim at, fight fans. So that's his specialty. That's where he feels comfortable at. Always looking to push to the mid to the close range, and that's where he lets those hard shots go. Doesn't throw much hard on the outside, man, and that's something that maybe a Keith Thurman can take advantage of. Now, and also the last thing and the most important thing, Eiamantis Stanionis is a good body puncher. Now, we know that Keith Thurman's biggest Achilles heel or biggest vulnerability will be him getting hit to the body, fight fans. And if he allows Eiamantis Stanionis to get too close in the pocket, Eiamantis will throw uppercuts and hard left hooks downstairs, as well as he flicks a hard jab from the outside to the body. These are all punches that Keith Thurman is going to have to be very, very aware about, because he gets into a trade fest with Stanionis inside and hit too much to the body. Well, that vulnerability on Keith will definitely show. You know what I'm saying? Now, when I think of Stanionis' possible vulnerabilities, the biggest ones is when he is pushed to the back foot. When he's pushed to the back foot, once again, he's more so reluctant not to throw those hard left hooks, not to throw those hard shots, because he doesn't feel like he's in a comfortable range. He's normally reduced to just flipping jabs whenever he's normally pushed to the back foot. And on the outside, he's also susceptible to combination punching. So even though he's only flicking a jab from the outside, his opponents can load up 3, sometimes 4-piece combinations. And, hopefully he can get through the tight defense of Stanionis. But he's vulnerable, and he allows his opponents to really kind of get off from the outside. Now, his opponents got to be accurate, because if they're not accurate, he'll once again ride punches mid to close, and he'll become a dangerous guy on the inside. Now Stanionis is not much of a counter puncher, fight fans. He's not at least known to be his specialty to be counter punching. So given that threat doesn't loom very much, I just think that when you push him back and you fight him from the outside with combination punching, those are his biggest and most vulnerable areas of his style. Now, we know that Keith Thurman does a lot of these things that may look to be vulnerabilities towards Stanionis. Keith Thurman has good lateral movement. Keith Thurman fights very well from the outside. And most importantly, fight fans, the thing that's going to be going for Keith more than anything is that Keith throws hard shots from the outside. Though combination punching is a big vulnerability to Stanionis, once again, if Keith is loading up from the outside, and Butayev was having a lot of success with landing big shots from the outside, if Keith can replicate a lot of that success that Butayev did, I think a lot of this fight can definitely favor Keith Thurman. Keith likes to move, and when he's coming in good shape, and normally he's in pretty decent shape, but if he's in good shape and ready to go, he moves very, very well laterally. He picks his shots very, very well from the outside. And once again, he's a big puncher from the outside. And so these things may prove to be that Keith is going to have to show us that these 22 months of him sitting on the couch, well, bro, you're going to have to use your legs a lot, and you're going to have to use a lot of your boxing IQ, and you're going to have to stay very, very active to keep Stanionis on the outside for much of this fight. So Keith is going to have to come on his A game. You don't want the trading back and forth. You don't want your vulnerability with that weak ass body being shown. So you got to do a lot of outside stuff, especially early on in this fight, man, when Stanionis is very, very strong. Keith don't want to get touched to the body much or trade much on the inside with Stanionis in those early rounds. Keith is going to have to move, use the lateral movement, once again, pick his shots very well, and stay away and keep your body safe, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, once again, Keith is always hurt to the body, but no one has never put him down to the body. Keith knows how to survive, whether it's spitting out his mouthpiece, looking for ways to buy time, looking for ways to, or he uses his legs to find safe spots in the ring to keep himself on his feet until maybe that bell comes, fight fans. But Keith is very educated on survival when he's hurt. And so, to finish Keith is not easy. People have hurt him, you know what I'm saying? Some say even lesser competition have hurt him, but none of them has finished him and none of them has dropped him. But once again, we got to see what Keith Thurman looks like after being out of the ring for 22 months. I mean, the good thing about that is that Stanionis has been out of the ring for just as long. And so all of these things should, kind of favor Keith. I think in going into this fight fans, I'm definitely leaning towards my main man, Keith Thurman. I think he has a lot of the tools that can brunt off of Eiamantis Stanionis. But once again, fight fans, I have no idea what he looks like after being on the couch for 22 months. But if he's traditional Keith and he does some of the things that I've known for him to do in previous fights, I believe that Keith Thurman should be able to get the win over Stanionis. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a battle, but I think he can do it, especially with some of the things that I've seen Butayev exploit. We'll talk more about this fight on the upcoming live stream, fight fans. Continue to rock out with the homie, man. Thumbs up on the way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. Share. Rock those bells. I'll catch up with y'all real soon on the next live stream. To the next video, man. Peace out.